Day 5. This 10-year-old girl is still living completely alone. Today she's facing her biggest challenge yet. And she's not crying. She chooses to stand up and fight. With water running over the rocks and the forest still untouched, the young woman enters the scene as if she is reading the land before disturbing it. She does not rush. She studies the stream, the main tree, and the open space above, searching for a point where human effort can lean on nature instead of fighting it. Once the location is chosen, the real work begins. She measures with her eyes, tests the spacing between branches, and judges the height needed to keep the floor clear of dampness and splashing water. This care shapes everything that follows, because a weak starting support would make the whole shelter unstable from the beginning. The first bamboo poles enter the frame, not as lifeless material, but as the bones of something waiting to be formed. She cuts, drags, lifts, and turns each pole through rock and water. The labor still feels raw, yet that rawness already holds a clear intention: build the foundation before thinking about beauty. She begins setting the first supports against the tree and the surrounding anchor points. Every knot tests stability, and every step back is a check on whether the structure can truly carry weight. From this moment on, the shelter is no longer just an idea. It starts to take visible form. The early frame slowly rises inside the dense green of the forest. She adds longer crossbars, corrects the binding angles, and pulls the pieces tighter, so the future floor will not sag. It is the least glamorous stage, but it is the part that protects everything that comes after. As the first joints begin to hold, the mood of the film relaxes for a moment. The space above now allows the viewer to imagine a real shelter. She is still working from below, yet from this angle it becomes possible to foresee a usable floor suspended above the street. As the next section begins, she does not restart the story. She continues the unfinished rhythm. New poles are lifted into place to strengthen the frame, while older lashings are tightened and cleaned up. The structure now moves from simply being supported to truly standing with confidence. The ladder and the first stepping points appear, opening the true height of the shelter. From here on, her body has to adapt to climbing, descending, carrying material, and working in a narrow space. The labor becomes heavier, but at the same time, the frame begins to feel like a place to live, not just a rack of bamboo. The floor slats go down one after another with more deliberate spacing. Each gap is judged to allow drainage while still feeling strong underfoot. This is an important emotional moment, because for the first time, the shelter has a surface where a human being can stand and remain. Once the floor is clearly defined, she turns to the rails and the outer frame. She has to correct alignment, parallel lines, and the tension of each tie, because even a small error here would make the later enclosure difficult to close. Her precision now is the way she protects all the effort invested earlier. Bamboo works so well for a streamside shelter because its hollow body and segmented structure give it strong strength for its weight. That makes it light enough to move through wet terrain, yet durable enough for flooring handrails and the main load-bearing frame. Once the frame is stable, the final tightening work makes the structure look cleaner and noticeably stronger. By this point, the viewer no longer sees scattered actions, but a clear progression from anchors to floor to a form that can now be completed into a real shelter. The rhythm changes here as well. The story is no longer only about labor, but about turning a structure into a space that can actually be inhabited. As the covering and the smaller details settle into place, the shelter gains a stronger identity. It no longer disappears entirely into the bamboo around it, but becomes a visible mark of patience in the forest. The sense of achievement comes not from size, but from seeing everything reach the form she had been pursuing. She spends time trimming the excess, retightening the last ties, and cleaning the surfaces so the shelter feels more finished. This section reveals a disciplined way of working completion is not simply stopping the labor, but leaving the structure secure, safe, and respectfully made. After the long run of labor, the film softens and allows rest to enter the frame. The meal and the quiet moment of sitting down are more than physical reward. They confirm that the once empty space beside the stream has become somewhere a person can stop, breathe slowly, and feel that the effort was worth it. The video closes with the finished shelter and the quiet that comes after work. There is no dramatic victory pose, only a deeply convincing result. From a handful of bamboo poles, one strong tree, and steady hands, she has created a neat refuge above the constant sound of running water. That was day 5 of this little girl living all by herself. She's still got 95 more days to go. You want to know how she's going to make it through the next 95 days? If you're rooting for her, smash that like button, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss day 6. Drop a comment saying day 6 down below if you want to see what happens next.
Ngoan nhá, ở đây nhá, chị Phương ha.